Chosen one, deep inside, you've always felt that your journey was different. Even from a young age, life placed you in situations that forced you to grow, to struggle, and to learn truths others around you didn't see. You were tested in ways that often felt unfair, and many times you asked yourself why the weight seemed heavier on your shoulders than on others. But the reason is clear. You were being prepared for a role far greater than yourself. You were chosen to be a guide, a light in places where others could not see. And now, the time is coming when you will begin to understand fully what this means. You are being called to lead others out of the darkness. Before we go deeper into this message, I want to pause with you. This is not a moment you stumbled on by chance. This is divine timing. If these words have reached you, it is because they are meant for you. And because of that, I encourage you to stay until the very end, where I will share something deeply important that could confirm what your spirit already knows. As you walk through this message, take part in its energy. Write your most sincere wishes in the comments and seal them with the number 777. This act is more than symbolic. It is a declaration, a release of energy that aligns you with the universe and its flow. And if you haven't already, subscribe so that you remain connected. Because messages like this are not random. They are threads that form a path leading you into clarity. Chosen one, the calling on your life has always required separation. That's why you could never truly blend in. That's why groups that others fit into left you feeling restless. That's why the path of comfort was never yours to take. From the beginning, your spirit carried a weight of responsibility, even when you didn't yet understand it. The pain, the trials, the rejection, the misunderstandings, they were all forging you into someone who could carry the kind of light needed to guide others. Because you cannot lead someone out of the darkness if you've never been there yourself. You cannot rescue someone from the storm if you haven't weathered storms of your own. This is why your past matters. The trauma, the losses, the betrayals, they all serve a higher purpose. They gave you insight into suffering. They gave you empathy for the broken. They gave you compassion for those who are lost. Where others judge, you understand. Where others ignore, you see. Where others dismiss, you feel deeply. This depth is not random. It is the very essence of your calling. The darkness you've endured was not meant to consume you. It was meant to equip you. Leading others out of darkness doesn't mean standing above them. It means walking beside them. It means remembering what it felt like to be unseen, unheard, and unloved, and then becoming the one who brings presence, voice, and love into those spaces. Chosen one, your scars are not weaknesses. They are maps. They guide you toward the people who need you most because you recognize their pain as your own. This is why you are so often drawn to the broken, the overlooked, the ones society forgets, because you were once there and your spirit knows the way out. But this calling is not without its challenges. Carrying light into dark places means facing resistance. You will be misunderstood, even hated, for shining in spaces where others are comfortable in shadow. Some will resist your presence because your light reveals what they want hidden. Others will doubt your strength because they cannot see the battles you've already survived. But chosen one, understand this. Resistance is not proof you are failing. It is proof that your presence is working. Darkness does not fight what does not threaten it. If you feel the pushback, it is because you are shining exactly where you need to. And here is the truth that must never leave your heart. You are not leading alone. Every step you take into someone else's darkness, the divine walks with you. Every word you speak that brings healing is guided. Every act of compassion is strengthened by something higher than you. You were chosen not because you are flawless, but because your spirit is willing. Because despite all you've faced, you still rise, you still shine, you still choose love when the world gives you every reason not to. So as you step into this season, chosen one, remember that your calling is not about perfection. It's about presence. It's about showing up when others can't. It's about carrying your light into spaces where it seems impossible. And it's about knowing that everything you've endured was shaping you for this moment. You are not here by accident. You are not listening by chance. You are exactly where you are meant to be. And the darkness that once tried to destroy you will become the very proof that you were chosen to lead others out of it. Chosen one of the hardest parts of your journey has always been the isolation. From a young age, you noticed how different you felt, how you never quite fit into the groups around you, how your presence often seemed to set you apart rather than bring you in. You may have asked yourself again and again, why am I always the one left out? Why can't I just belong like everyone else? And the silence that followed that question often felt unbearable. But let me tell you the truth. That isolation was not rejection by accident. It was separation by design. Chosen ones are called to stand apart before they can stand in front. You cannot lead others out of the darkness if you are swallowed by the same crowd. You cannot hear the whispers of divine guidance if your life is drowned out by constant noise. This is why you were pulled away, why friendships fell apart, why groups that once seemed close eventually faded. It was not because you were unworthy of love or connection. It was because your spirit was being trained in silence. Loneliness taught you to listen differently. In those moments when you felt unseen and unheard, you began to hear what others could not. You noticed details others missed. You felt the shifts in energy around you. You developed intuition so strong that even when people lied to you, you sensed the truth anyway. That gift was not born in a crowd. It was born in solitude. The very silence that felt like abandonment was actually shaping your greatest strength, the ability to discern. And chosen one, you must know this. Rejection is not proof of your lack of value. In fact, it's the opposite. Often, the people who turned away from you could sense something in you they didn't understand. Your light made their shadows uncomfortable. Your depth made their surface living feel shallow. Your strength highlighted their weakness. And instead of embracing you, they rejected you. But that rejection was also redirection. It was pushing you toward the path where you were meant to walk, away from places that could never nurture your spirit. Have you noticed how often, even in your loneliest seasons, the right person or moment would appear just in time? Maybe a kind word from a stranger, a small opportunity that reminded you of your worth, or a sudden inner strength that rose up when you thought you had none left. That was not coincidence. That was proof that though you were separated from many, you were never truly alone. The divine was always with you, whispering, guiding, protecting. The isolation was temporary, but the strength it built in you is permanent. Chosen ones often live through years of being misunderstood before they realize it is their uniqueness that makes them powerful. While others crave belonging at any cost, you were forced to learn that your value does not depend on acceptance. You discovered that you could stand even when no one stood with you. And that discovery became the foundation for leadership. Because the ones who lead must first learn to stand alone. The ones who carry light cannot fear the dark. The ones who guide others must first endure the wilderness themselves. This is why your isolation matters. It was not a mistake. It was training. It was heaven teaching you endurance, patience, and faith in unseen things. It was your spirit being conditioned for the weight of your calling. If you had always been surrounded by love, attention, and acceptance, you would never have discovered the strength to lead without them. But now you know. Your worth does not come from applause. Your identity does not come from belonging, and your calling does not require permission. And here's the most powerful truth. The very things that made you feel like an outcast are what now make you a leader. Your sensitivity makes you compassionate. Your loneliness makes you empathetic. Your rejection makes you fearless. Your separation makes you strong. Everything you thought disqualified you has actually been your preparation. You were not being cast aside, you were being set apart. So, chosen one, When you look back on those years of silence, of loneliness, of tears cried in secret, see them not as wasted, but as woven into your destiny. Because the same silence that broke you is the silence that taught you how to listen. The same rejection that wounded you is the rejection that taught you independence. And the same isolation that hurt you is the isolation that prepared you to walk as a leader. Remember this, you were never left behind. You were being pulled ahead. And now, as your calling becomes clearer, you will understand fully why you had to walk alone. Because you were being prepared to guide others out of the darkness, to places they never could have reached without you. Chosen one. One thing you must understand about your journey is that the battles you fought were never just about you. They were bigger than your personal story. The storms you faced, the struggles that nearly broke you, the nights you spent crying out for relief, they were all part of a larger preparation. Because chosen ones are not called to walk an ordinary path. They are called to be lights in the darkest places, and light cannot be carried without first being tested by fire. Think back to the hardest seasons of your life, the moments where it felt like everything was against you, when no matter how hard you tried, peace seemed out of reach. The times when rejection, betrayal, and loss piled one on top of the other until you wondered if you could even survive. You may have thought, why me? Why does life feel harder for me than for others? But chosen one, that weight was proof of your role. You were being trained not only to survive the darkness, but to walk through it carrying strength, so that when others face their own storms, you can guide them through. Spiritual battles often come earlier and harsher for chosen ones, because their destiny threatens darkness. If you were meant to live an ordinary life, the resistance would have been light. But because your very existence is a threat to the enemy's plans, the attacks have been heavier. The whispers of doubt, the feelings of unworthiness, the endless obstacles. All of these were attempts to weaken you before you discovered your strength. Yet here you are, still standing. Every battle you faced has become evidence of your resilience. And here's the truth. Chosen ones do not only fight for themselves, they fight for others. Every time you broke through a cycle, you cleared a path for someone else to follow. Every time you healed from pain, you created space for others to believe healing was possible. Every time you refused to give up, you carried hope for those who could not yet see it. This is why your struggles have been so heavy. Because you are not just living your story, you are carrying the strength of many. This is also why your victories matter so much. When you overcome, it's not just personal, it's collective. You bring light into spaces that once were dark. You become living proof that survival is possible, that breakthrough is real, that destiny is stronger than despair. And people, even if they don't say it aloud, are watching you. They see how you keep going. They see how you rise from things that should have destroyed you. They see how your light doesn't dim, even when surrounded by shadows. And whether they admit it or not, your example changes them. Chosen one, you must realize that your suffering was not wasted. Every hardship you endured has become a lesson. Every scar you carry is wisdom. Every tear you cried is compassion that now flows into others. Where others would crumble, you stand. Where others give up, you continue. Where others lose faith, you hold on. That is the mark of a chosen one. Not perfection, but persistence. Not an easy path, but a purposeful one. And here is the mystery. While your battles were painful, they were also blessings in disguise. Because every struggle sharpened your discernment. Every loss stripped away what was not aligned. Every heartbreak deepened your capacity to love. Every moment of darkness taught you how to recognize light more clearly. Without those battles, you would not carry the authority you now hold. Without the storms, you would not have the wisdom to guide others through theirs. So when you look back on your struggles, chosen one, see them not as punishment, but as preparation. You were being trained to carry a mantle of leadership, to walk into dark spaces without fear, to speak truth where silence once reigned, to bring hope to those who feel hopeless. Your life is not just your own. It is a beacon for others. And though the battles have been fierce, they have shaped you into someone who cannot be shaken easily. This is why you are called to lead, because you have survived what many could not, because you have walked through valleys and still carried light, because you know what it feels like to be broken, but you also know what it means to rise. And that rising is not only for you, it is for every person who will be inspired, healed, or guided by your story. So, chosen one, do not despise your battles. Do not curse your struggles. They are the very proof that you were always meant to do more, to be more, to carry more. The darkness tried to destroy you, but it failed. And now, you are being raised up not just as a survivor, but as a leader, one who will help others find their way out of the shadows. Chosen one, the time always comes when the battles of your past begin to reveal their purpose. You look around and notice something unusual. People are drawn to you, even when you don't seek attention. They share their struggles with you without fully knowing why. They find comfort in your presence, healing in your words, strength in your silence. It might feel overwhelming at times, but this is not by accident. Your spirit carries something powerful, light. And light cannot help but expose and awaken whatever is hidden in the dark. Have you ever noticed how certain people feel uncomfortable around you for no reason? They may avoid you, dismiss you, or even try to undermine you, all while you've done nothing to provoke it. That's because your light reveals what they're trying to hide. Darkness cannot exist comfortably in the presence of light. This is why your path has been filled with resistance. It is not who you are outwardly, but what you carry inwardly that unsettles others. But that same presence is exactly why you are called to lead. Leadership for chosen ones does not come from force, but from authenticity. You don't need to convince others to listen to you. Your life speaks for itself. The way you endure, the way you rise, the way you continue when everything tries to stop you, that becomes your testimony. And testimonies are louder than words. People look at your scars and see survival. They look at your journey and see proof. They look at your light and feel hope. This is how chosen ones lead, not through domination but through demonstration. The moment you step into your role fully, chosen one, you'll realize something powerful. People are waiting for you. They are waiting for your voice, your guidance, your presence. Some of them are trapped in darkness so thick they cannot see their way out. They are broken, weary, and searching for something real. And while you may feel unprepared or unworthy at times, you must remember this truth. You've been walking through darkness your entire life. You know what it feels like. You know how heavy it can be. And because of that, you know the way out. Chosen ones lead by shining light into places others fear to enter. That might mean offering encouragement when no one else will. It might mean speaking truth even when it's unpopular. It might mean standing firm in your values when others compromise. It might even mean guiding people who once mocked or doubted you. Leadership is not about being above others. It's about walking beside them and saying, "I've been where you are. I know the way forward. Follow me, and together we'll reach the light." But chosen one, understand this. Guiding others out of darkness does not mean carrying their burdens as your own. One of your lessons is learning boundaries. Your calling is to shine, not to drain yourself empty. You are not meant to fix everyone. You are meant to inspire, to guide, to awaken. The light you carry will stir something within others, but it is their responsibility to follow. You can point the way, but you cannot walk it for them. And knowing this will protect your spirit as you step deeper into your role. The transformation you bring to others is not always dramatic at first. Sometimes it's subtle, a word that lingers in their mind, a moment of peace they can't explain, a seed planted that blooms later. Other times, it's immediate, a breakthrough conversation, a moment of clarity, a decision to leave behind what no longer serves them. Whether small or large, your presence changes people. Because when true light enters, it cannot leave things the same. Chosen one, this is why your preparation was so intense. You could not guide others if you had not first been guided through your own storms. You could not lead out of darkness if you had never sat in it yourself. You could not shine authentically if your light had not been tested. Now, everything you've endured has created authority. Not authority based on titles or status, but authority born from survival, from faith, from lived truth. That is the kind of authority people can feel, even without words. So as you move forward, embrace the role you were chosen for. Do not shrink back when others look to you. Do not question your worth when opportunities appear. Do not doubt your impact when people are drawn to you. You were chosen for this because your spirit carries what others need. Your life is living proof that light always overcomes darkness. And now, chosen one, it is your time to lead others into that same truth. Chosen one, when you begin to step into your calling, the impact is never small. You may think that guiding one person, offering one word, or being a light in one dark place is insignificant. But what you must understand is that every act of light creates ripples. And those ripples move farther than you can see. One decision you inspire, one life you touch, one truth you speak can echo for years, shaping not just an individual, but entire families, communities, and even generations to come. Think about the power of influence. A single person pulled out of the darkness may go on to lift up their children, to heal their relationships, to inspire others in their circle. And all of it traces back to the moment you stepped into your role and offered guidance. This is the ripple effect of your calling. You are not just bringing light to one situation. You are shifting the course of many lives that are connected to it. That is why your role is so important, and why the battles you faced were so intense. Because what flows through you is not meant to stop with you. It is meant to spread. Chosen ones have always been carriers of generational change. Where cycles of pain, dysfunction, or brokenness seemed unbreakable, you were placed as the interruption. The light you carry is not just for healing yourself. It is for ending patterns that have gone on for too long. You are the one who declares, "It ends here. The darkness stops with me. From now on, light will lead the way." That declaration doesn't just transform your story. It transforms the stories of everyone connected to you. This is why environments shift when chosen ones are present. Have you ever noticed how your energy changes the atmosphere of a room? People may not always understand it, but they feel it. Tension breaks, peace settles, truth surfaces. Some will be drawn to you because they sense safety and light. Others may resist you because your presence disrupts their comfort in the shadows. But regardless of the reaction, the atmosphere changes. That's because light cannot enter a room without altering it. You don't have to announce it. You don't have to force it. Your very presence carries transformation. And chosen one, this ripple effect does not stop at the people around you. It flows into the unseen as well. Every act of light you choose pushes back against spiritual darkness. Every time you speak truth, you silence lies. Every time you show compassion, you weaken cruelty. Every time you refuse to give up, you strengthen the atmosphere of perseverance. You may not always see the results, but your life is influencing the spiritual realm in ways greater than you know. But with great influence comes great responsibility. This is why chosen ones must guard their energy. The same way your light transforms environments, your weakness can also ripple outward. That's why distractions come so heavily, why temptations pull at you, why the world tries to dim your flame. Because if your light is so powerful, imagine what happens when it is dimmed. The enemy knows your impact, and that's why the attacks against you are relentless. But remember, you have already overcome so much. Your very survival is proof that your light cannot be extinguished. What you must do now is continue to nurture that light. Protect it. Feed it with truth, with wisdom, with purpose. Surround yourself with people who uplift instead of drain. Create spaces that allow your spirit to thrive. Because the stronger your light grows, the greater the ripple of transformation around you. And chosen one, the world desperately needs the light you carry. Do not underestimate yourself. You may look at your life and see only the struggles, the scars, the imperfections, but others look at you and see hope. They see proof that change is possible. They see courage in your resilience. They see wisdom in your words. They see light in your presence. And whether you realize it or not, that light is guiding them forward, pulling them out of darkness, and inspiring them to believe in a future they couldn't see before. So, chosen one, embrace the ripple effect of your calling. Know that everything you've endured was not just for your own growth, but for the growth of countless others. The darkness tried to silence you because it feared the reach of your light. But you have survived. You are rising. And now your light will spread farther than you could ever imagine. This is the power of a chosen one, not just to endure, but to transform, to lead, and to change the world around them. Chosen one, as we reach the end of this message, it's time for you to see your story with new eyes. Everything you have endured, from the loneliness of childhood, to the rejection of your youth, to the storms of your adulthood, was never random. It was all connected. Each trial, each scar, each tear was shaping you for the moment we are speaking about now. You were not being broken, you were being built. You were not being punished, you were being prepared. And now, the preparation is giving way to purpose. You must understand something powerful. Chosen ones are never called to an easy life. You were never meant to walk a path of comfort, because comfort cannot create leaders. Comfort cannot forge wisdom. Comfort cannot build resilience. Only fire can do that. And so, your path carried more heat, more weight, more opposition. But look at you now. You survived it all. Every storm that was meant to drown you only taught you how to swim. Every fire that was meant to consume you only refined your spirit. Every rejection that was meant to shatter you only pushed you closer to your true self. That is why you are ready now. The call on your life is not just to survive, but to lead. And not in the way the world defines leadership, through status, titles, or applause. No, your leadership is deeper. It is spiritual. It is carried in your presence, in your words, in your compassion, in your unshakable resilience. When people encounter you, they feel something shift. They may not understand it. They may not have words for it, but they know it's real. That is your gift, that wherever you go, you carry light strong enough to push back the darkness. And chosen one, this is why the weight was so heavy. Because your calling is not just about you, it is about the countless lives connected to you. People you've never met, people who may never even know your name, will be impacted because you chose to rise. Your courage will inspire them. Your survival will guide them. Your testimony will remind them that darkness does not last forever. This is the ripple effect of your life. You are not just changing your own story. You are changing stories that extend far beyond you. You must protect your light. Not everyone who approaches you has pure intentions. Some will be drawn to your energy without knowing why, while others will try to drain it. Some will want the wisdom you carry, while others will resist the truth it exposes. This is why discernment is so important for chosen ones. You cannot pour yourself out for everyone. You cannot walk every path for others. Your role is to guide, not to carry. To shine, not to burn yourself out. To show the way, but not to force anyone to follow. Protecting your energy ensures that your light will continue to shine, strong enough to lead for years to come. And here's the beauty of it all. As you lead others out of darkness, you yourself step into greater light. With every act of courage, your own strength deepens. With every life you touch, your own healing expands. With every ripple you create, your own destiny unfolds more fully. This is the mystery of being chosen. You are both the guide and the one being guided. As you rescue others, you are also being restored. As you lift others, you yourself are lifted. As you awaken others, your own purpose becomes clearer. Shine your light, even if the room resists it. Lead with compassion, with strength, with humility, and with courage. Because the world is waiting, chosen one. There are people still trapped in the shadows, looking for a glimmer of hope. And you are that hope. You are the proof that no amount of darkness can extinguish a light that was chosen to shine.